today we're going to be looking at the exact reason why caravan prices have done what they've done over the last couple of years. So if you have followed the caravans and motorhomes since COVID, prices have absolutely flown up and then come crashing back down again. So prices now are right back down, sort of probably to about pre-COVID levels. Now, something that you will see quite a lot of is people blaming the crash, if you'll call it that, of the caravan prices down to campsites. Now, this is for 5 nights in the middle of August, kids' holidays, 2 adults, 1 child for a single axle caravan, and you'll get some sites that are quite expensive and some sites that are a hell of a lot better. So we've got 5 nights £265, 5 nights £195, that's on a hard standing fully serviced pitch, £195 for 5 nights, and this is down in Devon as well. So yes, you can get some sites that, as we go down here, 7 nights £658, swimming pools, full facilities, so it's all down to what you basically want. 5 nights again with all different swimming pools and whatever. So yeah, if you want to go and pay £500, £100 a night with all the full facilities, then that's the option, that's what you can do. But the site's there as well. Grass touring pitch, £122, optional electric, that doesn't include your electrics. £122 for 5 nights. Where and else can you go with 2 adults and a child? Where can you go 5 nights for £122 in the kids' holiday? I dare to find me somewhere that you can do that for that sort of price. So I think you can see what I'm basically getting at is that campsites nothing to do with caravan and motorhome prices coming down. Let's go back sort of to COVID, and let's actually look at why did prices go like they did? Why did they go up and go through the roof, and you were paying more for a used caravan than you would be for a brand new caravan? And the reason for that was that the new caravans weren't there. The brand new caravans just weren't being produced. They just weren't on the market. The manufacturers had screwed up. Top and tail of it, manufacturers had screwed up. During the sort of lockdown and the shutdown, etc., the manufacturers sort of sat there and sat on their hands a little bit. I think they were trying to figure out what was happening. Was the market going to come tumbling down with COVID? Was everyone going to have to stop at home? Was nobody able to go out and actually use caravans if they produce them? And they just weren't quick enough to act. And basically, the top and tail of what happened was that when the manufacturers finally found out, actually, the caravan market is booming, the motorhomes are booming, we need to get everyone back into the factories and get producing. So that's sort of what they started to do, is they got everyone starting to get back into work. And this is where the problem then came along. They started to put in the orders for the new parts for the new caravans and the new motorhomes that they wanted to build, and they found that the Europeans had actually already ordered all of the supplies. So all the parts that they needed to be able to build the different caravans and motorhomes, all of our different components throughout, they were already ordered. There was nothing left. There was very, very limited numbers of parts. So not only had they been a little bit slow to react to COVID, but when they did react, there was nothing else available. There was no parts. They couldn't actually get anywhere near the amount of parts to build the amount of caravans, and this is what led to the huge shortage of the caravans and motorhomes, and it's supply and demand. It's always, if you look at everything, it's always supply and demand. The demand outweighed the supply that was out there, and that is what fueled the increase in prices of the caravans and the motorhomes. It also then, if it forced the manufacturers to then basically turn around and say, hang on a minute, we're now going to be producing half the amount of caravans and motorhomes that we're normally able to. We need to put the prices up to be able to cover our costs. So not only have the parts gone up in price, but we now also need to increase the cost per unit just to cover our costs, just to make it sort of worthwhile actually building these caravans and motorhomes. So we've got it all going on. We've got no parts, we've got no supply, and then on top of that the price is going up horrendously, which then pushed up the used caravan and motorhome market. So dealers like ourselves, we were forced, we couldn't go and buy the amount of stock that we needed to, so it was then a bidding war, and that's what basically it turned into. Caravan and motorhome dealers weren't making huge extra profits. It was just basically a bidding war, and it was whoever was willing to offer the most amount for that particular stock, and it all started from the manufacturers. So that sort of fueled the big increase in the used prices. Obviously the new wasn't there to be able to supply the amount of demand that was there, so it all fell onto the used market, and prices then went absolutely through the roof because again, like I said, supply and demand, there just wasn't the supply, there was more demand, so the units that were out there were making more money. Fast forward then sort of 12 months, and manufacturers have now actually got their act together. We're in the Elegance 845, so we've been and picked this up, and we're actually going to go away and use this. So we're going to be doing a video of sort of setting this up and getting it ready to go away and use it, and I'm going to go through and do all of our normal sort of pre-checks to get it all ready, make sure that everything is doing what it should be doing and that it's safe for us to actually use and everything does work. So things like this now, if you look on the market, you'll see 2023, 2024 brand new caravans still there at dealers. They're still in stock, and the manufacturers have basically now overproduced, so they've tried to make up for all the shortfalls that they've sort of had during COVID and the loss of profits and all the rest of it. So they've overproduced, they've shoved it all into the dealers. The dealers now are sat there and they've got way too much stock. So there's actually now far more stock than buyers. So we've got completely the opposite, and again basically all down to the manufacturers producing now, sort of trying to play catch up. They've produced too much, they've flooded the market with the new caravans. The demand now isn't there as much it was. The demand's probably similar to actually what it was, but the problem is there's now 5 times more caravans on the market because the manufacturers have produced too much and flooded the market. What does that do? Exactly the same thing again. As we were sort of saying before with the supply and demand, if there's too much supply and there's not enough demand, what happens to the prices? Down they come. So all these people are out there blaming the campsites. The campsites have gone too expensive, that's why the market's gone like it has. It's not. It's the new manufacturers. The whole issue in the beginning, why prices went as stupid as they did, the manufacturers didn't produce the new to be able to cope with the demand, and now they've oversupplied the market, shoved it all into the dealers, and this is why we've got dealers going left, right and centre bust, because they've got so much new there that's unsold because the manufacturers have produced too much, far more than what they can sell, and that's one of the big reasons that now we've got dealers going bust. So it sort of started with the manufacturers and it's ending with the manufacturers, and I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised. I heard a whisper, and this was a whisper that actually not so long ago, one of the manufacturers pretty much defaulted and had to have a bailout, and it's been kept quiet, and I've not really found any evidence to sort of back that up, but that is the word that I've heard. How true it is, I don't know, and as I say, I've not found the evidence to sort of back that up, but that is that again could sort of reappear, and is it one of the manufacturers that are actually going to go bust next? So hopefully that has sort of made sense and give it another flip side and another perspective. A lot of people, as I say, blaming campsites that prices are too high. We showed you there, campsites aren't too expensive. If you go out and look, you can find cheap campsites. You still can't go on holiday as cheap as you can once you've actually got your caravan, and you'll see anybody that's actually got caravans still is saying that actually once we've got our caravan, we can't go and we couldn't sell the caravan and go and stop in a hotel for the same price once we've got our caravan as we could sort of stopping and using the caravan. So it's not now that we're in a situation where there's no buyers. There's plenty of buyers, but the problem is the supply that is out there now is outstripping the actual buyers, and it all is fueled by new manufacturers producing too much, flooding the market. So again, let us know in the comments your thoughts. I'm sure there's gonna people sort of disagree with it, maybe you agree with it, maybe it sort of made you look at it from a different perspective and go, actually that makes a lot of sense. It's why the market did what it did. Let us know in the comments. Hopefully you've enjoyed our sort of view. We're going to do a separate little video on setting up Elegance 845. As I say, we're actually going to use this. We had a Swift Challenger X850 that we went away in last time. We did exactly the same sort of thing, so this is why I paid a little bit more than I probably should have done for this, because we actually want to use it ourselves. So that's what we're going to be doing now. I'm just sort of setting it up. I've got the water through the system now, getting to grips with where everything is, so all of our shut-off taps and everything are all in the back here, and we've got our internal tank, and I'm going to use the external supply, so just setting it up for that. Got to run the heating system up. Obviously it's quite hot, so we're probably not going to use the heating system, and I don't think it'll even kick in at the minute, so it might just be the hot water system. So that's going to be another video coming up soon, once I've sort of started to run through this and get it all going. Again, I'll show you what we've done, where everything is, show you some nice little features on this Swift Elegance, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We've been over the last couple of weeks very sort of a bit negative, but it's not negative, it's just sort of trying to show our perspective on things, our point of view. In actual fact, I sort of showed the other day that the caravan and motorhome market is a lot stronger even than what I thought it was, and I think prices are going to sort of continue to drop slightly, and again it's because there's far too much supply of the new stuff out there at the minute. So the new stuff comes down in price, dealers discount it more and more, and it drives the used market down. So that's basically where we are. Hopefully we don't see any more dealers going out of business, because it affects, it's not just the dealer, it's all the staff, it's then sort of people that supply that dealer. So it's when a dealer goes bust, it's not just the dealers that suffer. There can be knock-on effects all throughout the industry, so it's not nice, not a nice thing. And why sort of when we were looking at buying some of the dealer stock that had gone bust, why it was a little bit uneasy. But at the end of the day, someone's going to do it, so I'd rather it be me going and buying the stuff than somebody else. So but yeah, waffled on enough. Thanks for watching on Mark at the Caravan Place. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop us a comment, and we'll see you on the next video, probably setting this up. Thanks for watching on Mark at the Caravan Place.